You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network. What's going on, NBL Network? This is NBL Live play-by-play broadcast number 125. I'm your host for tonight's game. Behind the scenes pulling the strings is Delvar, and my co-host for tonight is the co-commissioner of the NBL, Lip. We have the Ravens at Tennessee tonight, the 5-3 Baltimore Ravens taking on the 5-2 Tennessee Titans. But first, let's take care of some business. Web3cast.com. That's affordable graphics for all your creative needs. They are the sponsor and host of this show that you're watching right now. Also, the NBL Network, you can find them on Twitter at allbusiness. Make sure you check them out. If you have a website, if you have a Twitter, if you have a Twitch, and you need some kind of graphics, you go to web3cast.com. He'll get you squared away. It's affordable pricing for all your creative needs. Also, BTF, Building the Franchise Detroit Lions, dropped today, as it does every Saturday. Lip, have you had a chance to check it out yet?
I did. I thought it was a great episode. Some good information in there. I like where this is going with the roster moves. You're coming up on some re-signings that I definitely want to keep an eye on moving on and building a franchise. I think it's a great addition to the NBL Network.
And you liked watching the highlights of the NBL Live broadcast number 124. The 41 Pittsburgh Steelers to the 14 Detroit Lions. That was the last game on this show. And it got a little crazy in the second half. But now we're on to this game. Baltimore Ravens, player to watch for tonight's game. You got C.J. Mosley. How great has he been for the Baltimore Ravens in NBL Season 26, Lip?
Well, he's been a guy that people kind of overlooked. They didn't really think about him, his talent, his leadership ability whenever everybody talked about the Ravens, how they didn't really have a whole lot on their roster. But look, the guy is from Alabama. He's been in the league 3 years. This is going to be his fourth year, and he is really the leader, the guy that they want to build around. I'm not quite sure that we can jump to Ray Lewis quite yet, but C.J. Mosley is one of the star players in the league at linebacker, and obviously the leader for the defense for the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah,
he's the heart and soul of this defense right now. I mean, they'd hope he'd turn into Ray Lewis. They're getting a little bit of that right now. They're third defensively right now, only giving up 15 points per game. They are really playing a bend don't break defense right now. Not very good in yards, 20th total yards, passing 18th, and rushing they're giving up the 23rd worst. So they're still not allowing you to put points on the board. So they're creating turnovers some way, somehow. We'll see if they can get that done tonight. Tennessee Titans, Brian Arakpo, the fountain of youth. I think Skip Bayless in the NBL Twitter said it earlier. Man, this guy just seems like he just keeps getting better with age. He's on pace for, 18 sacks in NBL Season 26?
I think that the thing with him is that
Lip's trying to do the math right now.
No.
Somewhere around 18 sacks. He'll be pushing for that NBL record. You can find that on 365.maddenbomberleague.com. But real quickly, Lip, how impressive has Arakpo been?
It's been impressive, and the thing is, I think that people kind of underestimate him too, but for a different reason. I think that they may think that he's a little older. He's been in the league 8 years. This will be his 9th year. The former first-round pick, but people aren't paying enough attention to him. But you see those sack numbers climbing. I think he's going to get more attention, and there's a couple big things that he can bring to this defense that the Ravens got to be prepared for.
Absolutely, guys. We need your predictions in the chat right now. Anybody who guesses the score correctly with the same team, not just the score, but predicts the winner and has the correct score, you're going to win a free NBL Network t-shirt, maybe even a hoodie, potentially. I'm not going to put myself out there just yet, but that could potentially happen, maybe. So put your predictions in now. Lip, what is your prediction on this game? I know you're going to be rooting for Sonny, former division rival. I don't even know if I can use the word rival. Is that disrespectful to you? Division mate?
He was a guy.
A division guy.
He was there.
He was, and that's a key word. Was not there anymore. So what's your prediction for tonight?
I believe that I called this on the Commissioner's Corner podcast yesterday. I don't remember the score of the Titans, but it's not going to matter. The Ravens are going to win this game. I do believe I called it somewhere around 20 points for the Ravens, and I think 13 or 14 for the Titans. So I think the Ravens are going to be surprising here. They're the most underrated team at 5-3 right now. So I think that they can come out with a victory tonight. I don't think the Titans are going to be paying that much attention. Ravens win 20-13.
Wow, taking the Ravens. I guess I'll go on the flip side, and I'll take the Titans. Psych! I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. I think the Ravens win today, but it's going to be a little lower scoring of a game. I think 16-13. They kick a field goal at the end, and they keep it exciting for us, and maybe we get to see a little of the final minutes return. We're just looking for a great game. If you haven't checked out that series, you can find it on the NBL Network as well. It's in the playlist. But I think we're ready to rock and roll right now, guys. Big shout out to Fry. Our NBL Network hats are being made, embroidered this week, so we should have something out next week. So really exciting times for the NBL, but we're ready to kick off the show, Jack. Let's get it going. NBL Live broadcast number 125. We have the Ravens at the Titans. It should be a good one, and we'll see you on the flip side.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network. And you're watching the NBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking, deep over the middle. He has a man, it's Brandon Cooks, who catches it, makes a man miss!
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown.
All right, and that's it. We're ready to kick off here. We got the Tennessee Titans, I said earlier, 5-2. The Baltimore Ravens, 5-3. Titans are ahead of their division right now. The Ravens, man, Lip, they're back. They're third in their division right now. Are you surprised by the Cleveland Browns? I mean, how well has that team been playing?
Yeah, I think both of these teams are extremely surprising. Nobody expected the Browns to be where they're at right now at 6-2. But with DeShone Kizer, that's the thing that I'm most impressed with. He's a rookie, first year, getting some snaps. So for that team to be in that position, it's very impressive. And the same thing for the Baltimore Ravens. Nobody thought they'd be having this much success. They're 5-3, but they've got to be the best 5-3 team out there given the expectations that they had coming into the season. They were not very high at all.
Do you think the Ravens have a legit chance to make a wild card push here in the AFC?
I think that they have the defense to get there if they, make the offense play a little better, depending on their games with the Browns and how the Raiders do with their schedule in the back end. It's possible for sure. I would not consider it to be out of the question at all.
And here we go, Joe Flacco, single back, little handoff to the outside, got some space, little user juke, picks up a couple right there. Nice run right there. A very nice run. I felt like that run could have got a little bit more if he would have bounced it outside. Who's the starting halfback for the Baltimore Ravens right now? Is that Terrence West?
It is Terrence West.
Terrence West having a pretty good season, 5.4 yards per carry, 553 yards and 7 touchdowns. This is a guy, and we're only in week 9, who's putting up some big numbers, and he's really carrying this team as their top 10 in a rushing this season as he shreds off another tackle right there. Another blitz from the Tennessee Titans. Running a little halfback wham. How impressive has this Baltimore Ravens offense been? We haven't seen much success from Joe Flacco in previous years in the NBL. Finally getting to see him actually have a winning or potentially winning season is pretty remarkable, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, a lot of people are quick to say that Flacco should go immediately, but I love that he's starting to get some momentum here and on the path to success. He's thrown to Jeremy Maclin as his #1 receiver, and of course Mike Wallace. So his targets aren't the biggest and brightest stars, but he's still getting it done.
Big 3rd and 3 for Joe Flacco here. Shotgun formation, dropping back, finds a man underneath. He gets hit, but he shrugs it off. That's number 87. Joe Flacco making a nice throw right there, going underneath to Williams. And they pick up the first down, and just like that, Baltimore Ravens are starting to move the chains on this Tennessee defense that has been known for sending that heat on 3rd down. You have to be wary of that if you're the Baltimore Ravens right now.
And Max Williams is a guy that you want to throw to. A big tight end, 6'4" out of Minnesota. A lot of people think that he could be a really great tight end in this league. They just need to find a way to get him some touchdowns. Hasn't scored one yet this year, but look for him to make some plays as these Ravens work towards a playoff push.
And right there, Joe Flacco goes on a play action. Pressure comes, and he makes kind of a questionable throw in traffic. It ends up being complete, and now they're down to the 39-yard line, approaching midfield, the Baltimore Ravens right now. But, man, do you like those kind of throws from Joe Flacco? Early in the game, not really getting his feet set, kind of letting it rip against a team that you know is going to bring a lot of heat throughout this game.
I think that their defense is good enough that they can not make those ridiculous, but you've got to make it them at some point, so I'm okay with it.
Moving the chains and moving the chains. Here goes Joe Flacco with a nice throw, a little out route to the left side of the field, and they're picking up the first down. They're moving the chains, and that's what's most important for that team. I believe that was Jeremy Maclin on the left side making the reception. Maclin on the season has 22 receptions, 386 yards, only 2 touchdowns. Kind of a quiet season to start for Jeremy Maclin, and really this passing attack. They haven't been too good. Flacco 7 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, but they're looking to turn it around tonight. As Terrence West finds his way up the middle to the 46-yard line, is going to be a 2nd and 7 for the Baltimore Ravens.
I thought he tried to cut that back inside. I like when guys try to run in between the tackles, but I think that he had more set up on the outside than the inside. He probably could have picked up more yards, but still positive gain. Good running back there in Terrence Williams. I like what he's been doing so far this season. I like their commitment to him.
Yeah, the energy from Terrence West right now, really impressive. He looks like he's got a little pep in his step, and he looks like he's definitely got that high motor going right now. It's underneath throw. It looks like to Terrence West. No, that's going to be Mike Wallace, excuse me, coming underneath on a little drag, going to be on a 3rd and 4, and this gives them the option here. If the Baltimore Ravens can stay in these kinds of down and distances on 3rd down, they're going to have an opportunity to keep the run game alive as well as play action you and take a shot down the field. And I think this is when the Ravens are at their most dangerous.
Yeah, you see Jarrell Casey getting a lot of pressure right there. If the Titans come out in the double A gap set on defense, Flacco's going to have to get the ball out quick.
Watch the 3rd down back right now. Woodhead gets rid of it early. Flacco, bad throw, interception, and there goes the pressure. Just a free blitzer right there. Mid-blitz, we've seen double-A gap mid-blitz from a Sonny Weaver defense for some Maddens now. You have to pick that up, man. You got to ID that mic right there. If you're Joe Flacco, you have to make the adjustment and make the right read. I think right there, just getting a little pressure and got rid of it early, and we kind of saw it earlier in this drive as well.
Yeah, and you can't just try to throw a corner out to Adoree Jackson. The guy's got speed. He's got it all. Tough to throw against him. I love that kid out of USC. DeMarco
Murray exploding to the left side of the field. So we're getting a nice taste of 2 elite running backs in the Madden Bomber League right now. We are in NBL Season 26. If you're interested in joining the NBL and being a part of our franchise, you'll start in our development league, The Grid, and to apply for that, you go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Play action, Marcus Mariota rolling to the right side. He's got time. He's got space. He can take off, and he's going to take off. We see this often with Marcus Mariota under this new ownership, Sonny, owner of the Tennessee Titans. More scrambling from Marcus Mariota this year.
Yeah, and you've got to let him use his wheels whenever he sees nothing there. There was a guy underneath that deep corner. There was a guy running out with the halfback in the flat. So you just have to take what you can. Most quarterbacks can't run, but Mariota can do it. Just keeping him healthy is going to be the big thing for the Titans.
Here we go, single back formation. Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray behind him. Looks like he's flipping the play. It's going to be a handoff. DeMarco Murray picks up the first down easily, braces for contact, and strolls for another first down as they continue to move the chains. Kind of a similar drive as what we just saw from Baltimore. Tennessee's doing it right back on them.
Yeah, and the big thing, I talked to Sonny earlier today, heading into this game, they've lost both their games whenever Mariota's been sacked 5 or more times. So keeping him protected is the main focus for the Titans' offense today. So a strong run game is going to help get him more time in the pocket.
Play action, Marcus Mariota, single back over the middle, has a man open against man coverage. That's Taylor, gets down to the 6-yard line. Nice patience in the pocket there by Mariota. Splits the safeties. The wide receiver beats his man, and he finds that middle of the field, a soft spot against that cover 2-man defense. And now they're inside the 10-yard line. And man, if you're a Tennessee fan right now, you have to be feeling hopeful about this team that's sitting at 5-2 and the offense looking this good on NBL Live. Dropping back, Marcus Mariota looking over the middle, looking for the double slants, nowhere to go. He's going to take off running again. No, he stays in the pocket. He goes back at the end zone and gets dangerous. Bad throw right there by Marcus Mariota. I think he had the slant, the second slant open in the back of the end zone. I think he could have took that shot.
Yeah, and I think that you saw that him wanted to kind of take off there, but there was 2 or 3 defenders just sitting there waiting to lay a big hit. So he made the right decision to throw it, but it just was too much in traffic.
There you go, wide receiver screen right here. Intercepted. It's going to be a pick 6.
Let's go!
Who is that number 29? Feeling fine on his grind. NBL Live broadcast number 125. I'm losing my voice, but the Baltimore Ravens have just put 6. That's an old Sonny Weaver splash play.
Yep. I do believe.
Speechless.
I'm trying to find the name of this this fella here. Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey, a rookie out of Alabama. Just phenomenal play there. Man coverage, I believe. Saw the screen, stepped in front of it, takes to the house. That's the kind of plays that I was talking about that this defense, nobody ever expected them to make, and they're making all year.
And here's a quick little, little tip, pro tip for Marcus Mariota. When you run a screen play and the defender, the cornerback, is standing in front of the receiver you're trying to get the ball to, don't throw it, because it will get pick 6, especially when you're on the 6. That's always a risky throw. When I'm inside the 10, that's the things I think about. I always think, if I'm throwing it flat, make sure it's there, because if it's not and somebody jumps it, it's guaranteed pick 6. You have no help there. And there goes a handoff to Derrick Henry, and they try to get him on a little bit of a empty ace Patriot jet sweep for the Tennessee Titans as they pick up a loss of 1. So their first loss. So they try to get cute with their running game right now. They were doing well, just running it up the middle and getting DeMarco Murray running downhill. Try to get a little cute, lose a yard, but they'll be all right. Now down goes Marcus Mariota. Actually, I'm wrong. There's Pierce, picks up his first sack of the day. This is a defense that maybe we overlooked coming into this because we were so infatuated with the sack numbers from the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and you can't overlook this team because even though they're 18th in passing yards, 23rd against the run, they're 3rd in points, so they'll let you get down inside the 10, but they're not letting you in that end zone.
Little out route, doesn't even get to the first down marker, and they call that in bounds. Wow, that looked like it was out of bounds, but nonetheless, it's going to be a punt. I don't see anybody challenging it. That was Marcus Mariota finding Eric Decker. As a receiver who gets smart routed to the first down line, you have to get to the first down line. I mean, how hard is that for a receiver to understand?
You would think Eric Decker played with Peyton Manning of all the great people, and then he comes here to the Titans. You would think that he would know that, but that's why I said it's a bad route. They've got to, work on those things.
Absolutely. And here we go. 1st and 10. Baltimore Ravens up 7-0 after a pick 6 by the defense. And Terrence West, man, he looks explosive when he gets the ball. I'm going to call it right now. he's going to take one to the house, probably 60 yards.
He absolutely has the potential. I think that we saw him explode against the Jacksonville Jaguars on NBL Live a few weeks ago, and he has that potential without a doubt.
Here we go, bunch formation for Joe Flacco, single back. Looks like he's flipping the play right here. And an offsides by the over-aggressive Jarrell Casey. Now, that's what you're going to get with Tennessee. You know, it's going to be about them hard snaps, the hard counts, for Joe Flacco. He can use those to his advantage because this is a team that's really looking to aggressively get off the line.
Yeah, that is their number one thing. They are so aggressive whenever it comes to trying to get to the quarterback that you saw it there. You can use different snap counts and draw them off, and it's going to get them more often than not.
Terrence West fighting forward right there. See, that's what you get with a guy like Terrence West. You know, majority of the running backs would probably come up inches short on that run, but he's able to keep the chains moving, and they pick up a first down because he falls forward and his momentum it carries him. He's not a small back. You know, this is a guy that when he leans on you, he's going to move you back a little bit, and he uses that to his advantage. And so far, Terrence West has looked great, and so has DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, I think that picking up those conversions are what is putting this team in a position that a lot of people didn't expect at 5-3. Is a strong run game, 11th in the NBL right now.
Delaney Walker in motion, right to left is going to be a handoff to Terrence West. And, that would have been it right there. Kind of skips his way and found himself with nobody around him, but he was already stumbling and bumbling by there. But wow, the Red Sea parted for Terrence West, and he couldn't take advantage of it. He still gets a 4-yard gain. I actually don't know how he got through that line. It was a very tight squeeze. He tippy-toes his way through, and I don't think he realized at the end of that was probably 65 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, there was no one there. Maybe somebody's hand or an ankle popped out through there. Just tripped him up, and he could not regain his balance because he had a touchdown all the way.
Play action. They find Woodhead. There goes Danny Woodhead. It's going to be to the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Baltimore. And my low-scoring affair has just been busted as the Ravens look to go up 14-0 pending this extra point. But wow, even Woodhead's looking fresh over there. That was a play that looked like it was going to be blown up immediately. It looked like they had some edge pressure coming. Play action boot. Usually that's a recipe for disaster if you're the offense. But Flacco uses his awareness, gets rid of it quick, finds his halfback. And man, Woodhead, he can do some great things out the backfield.
Yeah, that was the thing that I don't think a lot of people give Joe Flacco credit for. Just being Joe Flacco, held those guys thinking it was a run just enough that he had a second to get the ball out to Danny Woodhead. Simple throw. Not a very complex throw. Gets it out to him quick. Let your guy make a move, and then you've got a big touchdown there.
And Marcus Mariota trying to get it right back. A little bit of a play action, trying to take a deep shot, but the mid-blitz came, the pressure came. He had to get rid of it early, and it gets deflected. Do you like that play call by Tennessee right there? I think a little bit too overly aggressive, and that could have ended up being a turnover.
No, I don't. I'm not a fan at all of plays where you only have two guys go out. You saw the other guys that should have been in man coverage against guys who stayed into blocks, drop back, were underneath that. You might have had one-on-one, but there was actually a guy kind of underneath that post, I think, that kind of made that throw hard for Mariota to make.
And this Baltimore Ravens defense, I think they took it personal, Lip. When we were talking about Tennessee in this preseason and the whole hype up for this game, this big AFC potential playoff matchup, they were saying this one defense was really good and this other defense wasn't, as he finds a little C route, but it's dropped by Eric Decker, I believe, and that's going to be a punt upcoming for the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, I think they're saying, hey, man, we're the Ravens. That's what we do is play defense.
Yep.
We're not going to buy into this hype that Tennessee's is, this powerhouse defense, and we're just some nobodies over here. And they're up 14-0 right now as Woodhead returns this punt very poorly to the 33.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I talked about it a minute ago with Sonny talking about how whenever they get pressured on Mariota, it has not ended well for them. So this defense keeps on applying pressure, keeps on playing the smart defense that they have been playing all year. They are going to have no problem already with a 14-point lead, and they have the ball on offense right now.
I formation, switch to strong formation. Tight set, Joe Flacco under center, handoff to Terrence West. He tries to go outside. He had it right in front of him. Hey, Trent Richardson, look right in front of where you were running. You had a lane. A big opportunity there. Tries to bounce it outside. I don't understand that method of running.
No, I think that he maybe had thought about some previous opportunities where if he would have just kept going outside, he would have had some room. But you can't think about what happened on other plays and try to apply them to the current play, because you had a big hole right up the middle, and then you try to take it outside. There's just nothing there. Take what the defense has given you, run through the holes that your line has given you.
Yeah, you're 5'10", 225 pounds. Let's see it. We don't need to see you bouncing it outside.
Oh!
And there goes. There's that 60-yard run. I called it. 67 yards for a touchdown. Terrence West and the Baltimore Ravens are balling right now over the Tennessee Titans, 21-0. That's a skunk. We're going to turn this game off, guys. Thanks for tuning in. The 21-0 hero. And that's going to do it. Baltimore Ravens up 21-0 early. There's still a lot of time left, Lip. I joke, but there's a lot of time left. And if Tennessee can figure something out on one side of the ball, they might be able to dig themselves back into this game.
Well, if we're looking at the history of Sonny Weaver and teams he's owned, it's not going to be magically fixing the defense and turning it around. It's going to have to be on offense, and he's going to have to figure out how to give himself in this shootout where he can magically make up 21 points, because right now their defense just does not have anything going for him.
Here we go, Mariota looking over the middle of the field, nowhere to go, running. Looks like they got the contain on. Not today. Fumble by Mariota. Pick it up.
He got it.
They get it.
Oh, look at the big go.
He's going in. Wow. Oh, my. And he got 3 tortillas off the ground on that Gronk spike. Wow.
I don't have words. I never expected that big man to make it there, but he's playing hard.
Oh, this is getting fun to watch. Just as I said, there was a lot of time left. About 15 seconds off the play clock expires, and Baltimore scores again, 28-0, and it doesn't get any worse for the Tennessee Titans right now. If you're Tennessee right now, you stay with the run game at this point?
It's early enough, and you have a good enough run game that I think you can stay with it and not be panicked. But your defense has to figure something out, and then your quarterback cannot be taking these sacks, and obviously cannot be fumbling the football there and letting the big man rumble for a touchdown.
And here we go. Baltimore's defense has looked great so far, as another big hit and another drop. You got to let that drag route, come all the way across the field. You had a defender in the middle of the field, was on the block and release, so he was staying home. You got to give your receiver an opportunity to get across the field rather than dumping it to him where he's going to take that immediate hit. As here goes Marcus Mariota, single back. Handoff to DeMarco Murray, who falls forward. And, man, Murray looked good on that first drive. I believe it was 3 carries, 19 yards. And then 28 points later, it's almost an afterthought of what if they should even be handing the ball off to him at this point.
And the tough thing is, I think this is his first game since week 2 coming back from an injury. So to try to feed him the ball a bunch is going to be kind of risky. He might not have all the juice to get it going after being out for a couple weeks.
Now, explain this juice. What is this juice you speak of?
Well, I think that we've talked about it before. You know how whenever Ben Roethlisberger goes out for about 4 weeks and then he comes back for the first game, he just doesn't have it. He's just not as
dude, you got the wrong person, bro. I'm not talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
I'm just saying.
I'm done with that.
I did
the BTF. I put it out there. I'm leaving that in the past. I'm not talking about that team, all right? Let's use another example. You got another quarterback you can think of? Tommy Maddox. Let me guess. Where are we going with this?
Tommy Maddox. Get out of here.
Here we go.
Get out of here.
It never stops. I formation. Joe Flacco. Is he elite? He is at handing the ball off. That's
Tommy
for sure.
Maddox.
Terrence West, 9 carries, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. And I called it. So you want me to call what's going to happen next?
As long as it doesn't involve the mentioning of Tommy Maddox ever again.
Actually, I have no idea where this game's going to go right now. It could easily be a tight game at the end of the at the end of the 12 quarters, because that's how much it would need for them to make a climb back into this one. Oh, no, actually, you never know. We've seen crazier things happen on NBL Live. It's a 4-score game with 2.5 quarters left. Anything can happen as Joe Flacco gets to the line. Another handoff. This one, too. Dixon, 1 rush, -3 yards. As Sonny's going to continue to try to send the heat here, get some pressure on this team and try to have them make a mistake.
That's all Sonny has. He doesn't have a whole bag of tricks. He's got one play, and it's get pressure out in this double A gap again. Let's see what he does.
And here we go. Handoff up the middle. Nice run, fumble. That could change it, but number 87, you saw him catch a drag earlier. He comes and picks up maybe a game-changing, game momentum-changing. I mean, if I'm going to overhype it, opportunity for the Tennessee Titans is taken away. They're going to punt it off to him now. That could have been big. I mean, look where they would have had the ball at the 33. Opportunity to make some things happen. But now they're going to get the ball at the 23 on the other end. And they got quite a ways to go. And here we go, 1st and 10, 23-yard line. Their own 23, Tennessee, 0 points. Little empty ace Patriot, who would have thought? Marcus Mariota dropping back, looking over the middle, looking over the middle, looking over the middle. I called that, and it stops a little bit short. Nice read right there by Mariota, takes his time in the pocket, knows no pressure is coming, and waits it out. It's going to be 2nd and 1 for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, as long as you're not taking sacks and you're gaining yards, you got to get a score here. You got 2 minutes left in this half. Play it smart. You cannot turn the ball over here. That might mean game over for the Titans.
And here we go. Tennessee finds a little sit route to Delaney Walker. 4 for 10. Marcus Mariota, 61 yards and 1 interception. The interception came earlier. It was they drove all the way down the field, got to the 6-yard line. Everything was looking great for Tennessee. They were looking to go up 7-0 to start this game. NBL Live broadcast number 125, and that just wasn't the case. And they got pick 6 on a screen play, and ever since then, they've been playing catch-up. As here we go, play action. Mariota looking over the middle of the field, batted down by this Ravens defense. Man coverage, been phenomenal for Baltimore thus far in this game.
Yeah, they are, I'm telling you, they're so underrated. People never expected them to be able to play this well 9 weeks ago, and I'm still extremely impressed every time I see them play.
Here we go, Mariota dropping back, has a man here. This is an opportunity here. Finds number 80. He gets out of bounds. Minute 26 left. Mariota seems to be cooking a little bit. Another quick out off of play action. Beats man coverage. Finds his tight end. A big pickup right there for Marcus Mariota as they pass midfield, and they're approaching that red zone. And I know they want another shot in that red zone to make right of what happened earlier.
Absolutely. This is where it starts. I said you've got 2 minutes left. You've got to get a score here. It's got to be a touchdown, in my opinion.
Nice handoff up the middle to DeMarco Murray. I like that handoff. That was a nice, clean, quick handoff. Get DeMarco Murray running downhill, give him the ability to hit that one cut. And, you know, those are the kind of plays you got to stay with if you're Tennessee. I know the score says otherwise, but you have to stay with the run game.
Yeah, and that's what they do best, so they have to keep with it and trust what they're good at.
Wing pass to Delaney Walker. A little out of character for Delaney Walker to catch a swing pass. Usually you want to get it to a guy that has the ability to make some things happen after the catch. I guess they believe that's what they got with Delaney Walker. He's going to go in motion again. This ain't going to be the same play. Play action. Marcus Mariota looking over the middle of the field, and I'll tell you what happened. He steps up, puts his elbow right into the back of his halfback. You know, tries to use it as, you know, some kind of pivot. Didn't work out for him. Going to be 2nd and 10 for Marcus Mariota. We knew where he was going, over the middle of the field. I think he had a man open. Could have been a big play for Tennessee, but nonetheless, here we are, 2nd and 10, 48 seconds left in the second half. Tennessee, all 3 timeouts, and they're approaching that red zone, 6 yards away. Here they go, dropping back. Mariota has a man over the middle of the field. Again, they got to sure up that middle of the field. Nice catch right there.
That's a great catch.
Number 13.
And he trusts that guy to make that catch. If there's a lot of traffic around there, that if it's bobbled, or put up into the air. It could have been turned over, and that would just be a disastrous end of the game for the Titans. But he holds on, and that's a good play.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of plays. Tennessee's looking over the middle of the field. They like the middle of the field. Let's see if Baltimore can adjust after halftime and really start shutting that down. As DeMarco Murray into the end zone, a little rough, a little tackle after the whistle blows. Maybe a little bad blood brewing between Tennessee and Baltimore. No response.
That's what you needed there.
Okay.
They needed that touchdown. It's still a 21-point game going into the half as long as Baltimore doesn't rip off some kind of crazy game right here. Great gain right here. So you got to be careful as the Titans come out on defense.
Yeah, they got sure hands Woodhead back there. Or as Timbo said earlier, Danny Paz. I like that. That makes sense. On their own 27-yard line, 1st and 10. They're trying to probably just run this ball out, I would assume. Maybe even take a knee, go to halftime, take the 21-point lead lip. You don't want it to get crazy here. You don't want to give them any hope, right? And allow them to get down just 2 possessions.
Yeah, that you cannot. You've done such a good job so far. You've got to just play smart and hold on to the football here going into half.
A little wildcat formation right here. It's going to be a handoff to Danny Woodhead. Almost looked like a face mask to me. Timeout Tennessee. Tennessee calling timeout right here to entice Baltimore to run another play in hopes they can get a turnover. That's a positive spin on the situation.
There's just more aggression from Sonny Weaver and his Titans. I'm not sure that it's going to work out.
Terrence West split to the right. Joe Flacco shotgun formation. You got tight sets. Watch Perryman over there. Handoff to Terrence West. I thought that was an opportunity for a big hit stick right there. That could have. That was their opportunity right there. 3rd and 9, another timeout for Tennessee. 13 seconds left. They're probably going to stay on the ground here. Baltimore probably going to be going into halftime 28-7. And yes, I believe Tennessee does get the ball back at half.
I just want to see this go to half without Baltimore turning the ball over. Tennessee's being way too aggressive.
And there was the big hit. The user stick. Yeah, I mean, that was a big hit right there. Danny Woodhead hangs on to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely lucky to hang on the ball. He's a little fella, just a small guy out there, and he gets popped. But good job of holding on to the football and just forcing a punt here.
And that was the opportunity that Tennessee was looking for when they were burning those timeouts. Just another opportunity to put the ball on the ground. And here's a punt return.
This guy's electric, though. He can make something happen.
They got space to the left side, and he doesn't make a move at all. In the Madden in which every juke nearly works, did not juke. Questionable call for Sonny Weaver there on that punt return. 3rd quarter, here we go. Tennessee's ball as Baltimore got it first. So if you're Tennessee right now, what is your strategy moving into this half, down 21? You're going to tell you guys, hey, don't look at the score, or hey, let's pick up the pace and let's get ourselves back in this game?
I don't think that you want to be concerned about picking up the pace just yet, because you don't want to get your guys too focused on the fact that you're down 21 points. Just go out, run the ball, do the things that you know how to do well, and that'll give you a 14-point deficit, and then you can start to panic later on in the game. But right now, just do what you know how to do.
And here we go. Mariota dropping back like no other right there. The footwork, the Travolta. Marcus Travolta dropping back on that screenplay to avoid any potential sack. There was none around him. I think he was just showing off there.
I think that Murray could have made one guy miss. You talk about how this guy is really good with the ball in his hands, but he can't make one guy miss, and he's gone. That's going to the house for the Titans, and you're only down 14 early in the 3rd.
Bernard Williams in the chat. What's up, man? He's talking about Seahawks versus Patriots in Super Bowl 52, but we're talking DeMarco Murray in NBL Live, broadcast number 125, rips up a big gain. That's 71 yards for the touchdown. And Tennessee's right back in this game, Rick.
They are, and that's what we talked about, running the football, doing what you know how to do. We talked about, does DeMarco Murray have the juice after coming back from an injury? That doesn't answer it for me, because that hole was so wide, I think any one of us could have walked through that and scored a touchdown. But DeMarco Murray does what he does best, rips off a big gain, and now you're only down 14 points with only 30 seconds into the second half.
Big shout out to Serpent and Pricey in the chat. Nice spin move, Woodhead. Looking good. Looking good. We got another Travolta there on the Baltimore Ravens side. Big shout out to Pricey, Serpent in the chat saying they're back in it. I 100% agree. Is Joe Flacco elite?
Ooh.
We're going to find out. As Sonny switches his line to aggressive. So this goes right back into it. Hard counts. Hard counts. Get these guys off sides. Get some free yards. If you're Joe Flacco, you have to pick up on this. Here we go, Flacco shotgun formation. His own 29-yard line has a man in motion. Handoff up the middle. Terrence West had a little bit of a seam, but Jarrell Casey comes in there and makes a crucial tackle. Only a gain of 3. Nice run right there by the Baltimore Ravens. That had a lot of potential.
It did. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a swing to the guy in motion there or a run up the middle, but still, 3 yards on first down is all you can ask for whenever you hand the ball off. If a guy like Terrence West rips off a big gain, that's great too, but just as long as they're not taking a loss and they're picking up yards here, keeping this lead rolling, that's good for the Ravens.
Man in motion again, a little screen pass. He finds his man. Sonny Weaver was there, but he's the underachiever today. Nice juke. Terrence West is still on his feet. He's still on his feet. Wow, what a run by Terrence West, and we have to shout out. The defensive lineman, controlled by Sonny Weaver, was right there. But he was so close, but yet so far away. And Terrence West, I mean, man, this guy is, that's why I never understood why he tried to bounce that run earlier in the game outside. He's 5'10", 220. When he gets running downhill, he's tough to bring down. And even for this defense, this defense is good as Tennessee is. A nice play action there. 87's got the ball. He's slicing and dicing his way down to the 18-yard line. There in the red zone. 6 for 8, 137 yards. Joe Flacco, a play action maestro right now, leading these Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and that's a big guy, Max Williams. That's a tight end that I think could be like a mini Travis Kelce. Big guy out there, not easy to, you can't miss him whenever you're throwing the ball. And he picks up a good gain there as Tennessee gets extremely aggressive again and jumps off sides.
And let's see if he changes it back again and takes it off. No, he's going to leave it a pass rush on. Aggressive, no, he goes back to balanced. I just want to see if it ever gets to the point where you're on aggressive and that happens and you get so upset you just leave it on conservative the rest of the game. You go full-fledged the other way to avoid that situation happening again, and that's a big 5 yards. You don't want to give up any yards if you're Tennessee. Here we go, handoff. Terrence West. I'm going to start calling him Terrence Best because that wasn't even him. That was Dixon. Dixon with the run right there. You know, they all look
Mixon in the
so good.
That was terrible. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear it. I'll ignore it. Dixon, number 30. They all look so good behind this line, and the game has been called so well by the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator thus far. I mean, really at this point, Terrence West has already, laid the path down. You can pretty much bring anyone in. There goes Flacco as he goes down. There's another sack coming here for the Tennessee Titans. That's what they like to do. They like to blitz, and there goes another blitz off the edge. And they get in there. I don't understand the pass on that play. I would have stayed with the run.
Absolutely would have stayed with the run. But the big thing to take away is Flacco being a smart guy, veteran in the NBL, did not throw that into coverage and give the ball back to Tennessee. He's going to try to get some points here as they run the ball again.
And Danny Woodhead, and he might get the award for hanging on to the ball in critical situations. He has taken some big hits thus far, and he's held on to the ball. I mean, that is something that teams around the league look and go, man, I need a guy like that. Because I'll tell you what, if that was Amir Abdullah, we would have seen two fumbles already. I just hope they bounce out of bounds. That's at this point. 31-14, Baltimore's up. 3-possession game here. So they answer back. Tennessee scores a quick 7. They come back and get a field goal, but a nice drive. Ate up a lot of time. So that was a very good drive for the Baltimore Ravens. Now it's time for their defense to step up.
Points. It doesn't matter if you only get field goals from here on out. I think that you've got time in your favor, the score in your favor. As long as your defense plays okay, I think that the Ravens are going to get out of here with a win.
Play action, Marcus Mariota. Get down. Number 54 comes in with the sack. That's Bowser, I believe, for the Baltimore Ravens. And this team, I mean, this defense, which defense has looked better today? I mean, I could easily say, man, that team we were talking about, Tennessee, the Ravens are looking more like that team right now. Play action, FK, quick special coming up right here. Throws it over the middle, and that's going to be a completion for a few yards, 3rd and 13. They're still in a 3rd and long right here. What do you do right now if you're Tennessee?
This is tough. I think that Baltimore is going to come out and sit back around that first down marker, so you're going to have to give it to a guy that you trust that can pick up the hard yards after the catch. As long as Mariota makes a good read here, they should be okay.
Mariota dropping back, 3rd and 13, finds his man underneath. They're going to try to pick it up with Delaney Walker, and it's going to be close. I think he got it. I think he was smart enough, and that was a great run right there after the catch for Delaney Walker.
Yep, that's
smart to know where the sticks are and then to fall forward and pick up that big first down on a 3rd and 13 that I think was, that's open field tackling at the Baltimore Ravens. Have to do better than that. As a nice little stiff arm there for DeMarco Murray. Picks up 9.5. It's going to be 2nd and inches, and they're into a no huddle here, trying to pick up that pace as they're down 17 with just under a minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. Drag underneath. They're looking for space to run. It looks like Sonny in this Tennessee Titans offense is starting to find a little rhythm.
I think that they have to score here in the next minute or so, maybe right inside the 4th quarter, to continue their shot at this comeback, but you can't force it and give this aggressive Baltimore defense a turnover, because that could really kill any chance at a comeback for the Titans.
I like the initial no huddle. This one I'm a little skeptical about. I don't like doing the back-to-back, but Mariota's got room. He's got to take off. And there goes Mariota again. He takes off and slides again. That's 2 rushes for 15 yards, and they've been beautiful runs. Mariota's really good at that, getting outside of the pocket, making his reads, and then taking off when he needs to, as another no huddle for the Tennessee Titans, down 17 right now. Trying to kind of wear out this Baltimore Ravens defense, who isn't the youngest. He looked like he got clipped in the back. The defensive lineman for the Baltimore Ravens goes down. Did you see that?
I did not see that. I was concerned that was DeMarco Murray injured there, but it was not, and that's lucky for the Titans because he does have a history of injury.
Eric Weddle looking fresh and clean for the Baltimore Ravens. We'll get that injury update as soon as it comes. Marcus Mariota, empty ace Patriot, I believe. By himself, dropping back, has a man over the middle of the field. No, goes to the out route. And wow, man, he came back to the ball. He actually had an opportunity to turn that upfield, and that could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I want to point out here is that as Mariota's been sacked, I think 3 or 4 times so far. We talked about the Titans are 0-2 whenever Mariota's sacked 5 or more times. Can you imagine how many times he would be taken down, or at least really hit hard, if he wasn't such a mobile quarterback picking up first downs like we saw a couple plays ago?
Nice throw to the flat right there to DeMarco Murray. Big hit, number 29, the guy who made the pick 6 earlier in this game off a screenplay in a very similar situation. It looks like he's coming up big, that cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. What college you say that guy was from?
Marlon Humphreys is from Alabama.
Alabama, the university. Trent Richardson, I believe.
I'm not sure why they didn't run a hurry-up play there. They had some time that they spent wasting trying to get a play in. They could have run another play there on 2nd and 5 before the 4th quarter started. So a little bit of uncertainty there from the Titans.
Yeah, they were no huddle, trying to get themselves back into this game. Now they get down here and they want to make sure they come away with points. Maybe second-guessing themselves a little bit, but the Titans look as good as they did on that first drive right now. As a quick drag. You got to let that develop a little bit. Was the pressure there? Did I miss something?
I don't think so. I think Mariota's just a little panicked right now. They're trying to pick up the first down 17 at the start of the 4th quarter. I do agree that I think a little bit more time. Corey Davis can fly, so I think you get him out a little bit more to the left, he can pick up the first down easy.
Big shout out to D-Who in the chat right now. Luigi, yes, we're not playing with any slider set. Stock slider, 6-minute quarters, all Madden. No Excel, quick out. Actually, a little 5-yard out to, is that Eric Decker over there?
That was Eric Decker. And
Mariota to Decker, kind of get used to it.
First time he makes a good route.
Still not to the first down line. 22 catches on the season, 340 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Eric Decker. He's leading their receiving corps in touchdowns. They got to score here. They got to make this a 10-point game. They're going to hand it off. DeMarco Murray changes direction, and Eric Weddle finds himself in the play again. Man, that guy's just got a nose for the ball.
He does, and he adds such a veteran presence to this defense. I do believe they have Ladarius Webb, a corner that is playing safety now beside Weddle, so that's a dangerous combo back there.
And Mariota does what he does best, steps up in the pocket, and gets in. Wow, he had a man crossing right in front of him, wide open. And he decides to do what his instincts tell him, and he decided to hang on that ball and run it in. I can't knock the man for it. He's been running wild over this team. That's 3 really smart runs throughout this game. And now they're only down 10, so a team that was down 28-0 is on a 21-3 run. 5:13 left in the fourth. Is there enough time left?
Believe it or not, I do think there is enough time, because I think that we've seen the Ravens kind of get comfortable with that lead. They had such a big lead, and they haven't really done anything besides a nice drive and a field goal since then. So, like I said, you can't get too comfortable here. The Titans can run the ball well. As you've seen, Marcus Mariota is a dual-threat quarterback, so you've got to have some urgency here, and you know that the Titans are going to be bringing the pressure on this drive.
Yeah, my concern for Baltimore right now is to hold on to the ball. This is where you do not want to have a turnover and allow this Tennessee Titans team to take over in really great field position, or essentially and there's Terrence West. And he's got space to the sideline. This guy is he's a locomotive. 12 rushes, 112 yards, and a touchdown. That cover 0 blitz against Terrence West is not going to work, because this line's going to pick it up, and he's going to find the hole, and he's going to find the weakness of the defense, and he's going to exploit it, and he's been doing it all day. That's
really impressive from this line to pick up that blitz. The Titans, they do blitz a lot, but they do have some stars. We talked about Brian Rakpo. They have Jarrell Casey, Deion Jones. So there's definitely some guys you've got to pick up, and the Ravens have done it well as Terrence West has run all over the Titans today.
Man in motion right to left. Another handoff to Terrence West. More space, and he's gone. Juke him. Wrong way. Terrence West decides to juke outside. I thought he should have sold him outside and cut it back inside. Well, what do I know? That's why we're in the booth, and they're on the field. Terrence West having a phenomenal day, and yet I'm still here trying to critique every move that he does. Got to let the man live, I guess. I would assume. In field goal range again, easily. This is the second time they've answered a score by getting right back in field goal range fairly easily. Man in motion, handoff. Dixon gets down to the 33, no gain there. 4 rushes, 7 yards. How do you feel about Dixon so far? Now, he's got 4 carries. He's kind of been the guy that comes in and gives Terrence West a breather. I mean, Terrence West, high motor, runs hard. You know, he needs those breathers. You think Dixon is the right, I kind of like to bring in a speed guy when I have a guy like Terrence West, It's something different, a change of pace. It looks like they kind of stay with the same pace when they keep Dixon in the game.
Yeah, and at just 3.6 yards per carry, he's not a change of pace from Terrence West, like you said, and he hasn't really shown that he can do anything, spectacular. He had one really nice catch on that cross screen earlier in the game, but outside of that, I think that you need somebody a little, different from that kind of power back type to bring in to spell Terrence West.
You want me to spell Terrence West? W-E-S-T. Or B-E-S-T. Here goes Woodhead. This is their 3rd down back. 3rd and 9. Baltimore Ravens. Tennessee Titan 32-yard line. Big play in the game. They were up 28-0 to start this game. The pressure's coming. Woodhead gets to the outside. A quick throw, and that's dangerous. Another cover 0 mid-blitz from the Tennessee Titans. And Flacco decides to hit the flat quickly. Could have been a pick 6. Seems a very dangerous throw. If you're Joe Flacco, the kick is up. It is good. and they're going to be up 13 points right now. So it's not 2 scores. If you're Tennessee, you know, it's going to have to be a quicker drive, maybe kind of similar to the pace you had at the end of the third quarter. But you're in this game still. This game is far from being over if you're Tennessee. You've climbed back, and now it's time to make the big play.
Yeah, I talked about how I didn't want them to get too comfortable with their lead, but they got down with some urgency into field goal range to at least put some points on the board. Now it's on their defense, which has brought them to this point. I've talked about it. They give up the yards, but they do not break inside the red zone. They're the 3rd best team with points allowed. So I look to them to stick to their defensive plan here and make the Titans use some time on the clock.
And here we go, guys. Mariota taking a deep shot down the field, trying to get over top of the bad throw by Mariota. What a great job by the wide receiver, getting in front of the defender at least to try to not allow it to be a turnover, because Mariota really put that out in front of him, and honestly, the defender had position on the ball. Here we go, empty backfield. We've seen this multiple times from this team. They go back to the play they were going to call previously. Mariota likes the coverage here. Looking down the middle of the field, finds his man Eric Decker, and this could be a face mask, which could be huge. No, it's a holding against the offensive line, of course. It's going to come back 2nd and 20 for Tennessee. I mean, it's obvious to say that's not good, but you had such a nice play there. You had the screen open on the right side, but you also had the guys going downfield, and just have a holding call negate all of that is terrible for the Titans. Here we go, man. Coverage has been so good for the Baltimore Ravens, and it comes up big again. Cover 2-man spy out of quarters for the Baltimore Ravens, and wow, their man defense has really been sprinkled in so nicely that it's really just frustrated the Tennessee Titans. And here they are, 3rd and 20. This ain't how they wanted to start this drive. I think it's big shot time. I think they're going to take a big shot down the field. Nice throw right there on the run. Finds his man, gets down to the 38, 37-yard line. Mariota using his legs to buy some time and hits his man in stride. One thing he can do is throw on the run lip. Been very impressive this year. Man in motion is Davis. They're going to hit that 2-minute warning.
That's a terrible play to run at that point. You could have gotten that play off had you called a normal play, but you have a guy coming in motion. You know it's going to take 2 to 4 seconds to get him to where he starts the play, and you can snap the ball. That's not a good play call there. Mariota should have known that whenever they came out.
Mismanagement of time for the Tennessee Titans. Here we go. Screen pass to the left side. He's got some space. He's got some room, a little juking, but nowhere to go. And down he goes and back into this no huddle for the Tennessee Titans. We've seen it, man. We've seen it, what, 12 times already? 10 to 12 times? The Tennessee Titans really trying to make pace an issue when you're down 28-0. You can completely understand that. DeMarco Murray goes in motion. Mariota dropping back. He's got a clean pocket. Finds his man over the middle. It's Eric Decker. Who would have thought? Eric Decker is really showing that he's got a couple seasons left in that old body of Eric Decker. A lot of people thought maybe he was washed up, didn't have much left to offer a team, but man, he's really fitting in well with these Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and that's what Mariota needs. They kind of have some young receivers, a lot of rookies, a lot of guys in their first or second year. And that's a guy that you can rely on in Eric Decker.
A little late on the throw right there. Mariota tries to squeeze it to the sideline, looking to catch and get out of bounds so they can save those timeouts. A little late. The receiver was out of bounds. 2nd and 10. They've already passed midfield. They're on the 45. They just need one big play here, and then they can D up. And that's what the Tennessee Titans have been known for this year, is playing defense. And, you take away the pick 6. This team hasn't played too well today defensively. 27 points. Mariota finds his man, and there's the big play I was talking about, down to the 25-yard line, and they're one juke away from scoring. It just really feels like it's about to happen for Tennessee as they go back to this no huddle. Marcus Mariota, little play action. Watch Derrick Henry leaking out here. No, he goes over the middle, little lofty throw. What a beautiful touch pass.
That was beautiful.
From Marcus Mariota to Sharp, a guy that they've shopped earlier in the season to trade. And he comes up making a big play for the Titans, and DeMarco Murray's going to walk in. Oh, he gets hit. He fumbles. Wow, game over. The game ends as C.J. Mosley, our player to watch in the pregame show, picks up the fumble, but who laid that hit? Because he needs to be tested. Antler spray, something. This guy, wow. DeMarco Murray should that might need to be reviewed. Maybe he was in.
I was going to say before that play, if I was the Ravens, I would have taken a timeout and got into a better defense. You know Sonny's going to run against that weak box that he always talks about, but they stayed in it and they let their players play, and it came up big. And that's a huge fumble. And now you're looking at DeMarco Murray saying, you gave away our chance. You know, we had a chance, not a high chance, but you just gave it away on the goal line.
Yeah, when you put yourself down 28-0 to start the game, you know, that's a big mountain to try to overcome there. And they outscored the Baltimore Ravens 21-6. They only gave up 2 field goals. They scored 3 touchdowns. You know, they did their part, but they just dug themselves too big of a hole, and they're going to fall. They're going to fall to 5-3. The Ravens are going to improve to 6-3. And the Tennessee Titans take the loss today. Wow, kind of surprising, to say it went down the way it went down. But you picked the Ravens coming into this. I piggybacked on you. What did you like about the Ravens that you felt they were going to match up really well with Tennessee?
I didn't think that they would have the line for the run game, but I thought that they had a decent enough line with the weapons in Joe Flacco to kind of face this blitz, get the ball out quick, and really take on this aggressive Tennessee Titans defense head on. And that's what they did. They just did it a little differently with the run game. And I can say that we talked about it last night. These Ravens are extremely impressive compared to what we thought they were going to be. And here is another example of it, as now the Tennessee Titans, I think they might have a tiebreaker because of a head-to-head game, but the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts are both 6-3 in the AFC South.
Yeah, and man, you know, a tie down to the final stretch, taut, sunny, the history's there. And that's going to be an interesting matchup, but it's time for the NBL Live broadcast number 125 player of the game. I'm going to say Terrence West. Absolutely. He balled out today. He was a difference factor. You know, he kept running the ball, consistently gaining yards and consistently putting the defense on his heels. And I think he's my NBL Live player of the game. Lip, do you agree, disagree?
I absolutely agree. Like I said, didn't expect them to do it with a run game, but Terrence West put this team on his back. So many big runs, so many missed tackles. That's what this guy can bring this team. We've seen it all season so far, and that is one of the things that makes you an NBL Live player of the game, putting the team on your back, and he did that today against the Tennessee Titans.
And before we get out of here, we're going to recap the AFC North. The Steelers 8-0. 8-0, undefeated. The Cleveland Browns 6-2, and the Ravens improved to 6-3. Arguably the toughest division in the NBL right now. Three teams that are fighting and jostling for a wild card. Well, 2 teams fighting for a wild card spot. One trying to win the division. I mean, these are looking like 3 playoff teams in one division. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops throughout this cycle. Guys, this is going to do it for the show. For Delvar behind the scenes pulling the strings. Web3KS.com, our sponsor for the show. I'm Bomber, and from my co-host Lip, we hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, and we will see you next time on the NBL Network.